What's up, guys? Let's let some people come in, and then as people continue to come in, we'll get started. So, for the people who are in already, who just immediately jumped in, do you guys have any questions, or do you want to get a jump on anything? I tried to wait till people got home from work, at least on the East Coast, before I started this live. But let's just see what happens. Corinne is here. What's up, Corinne? How are you, darling? What's on your mind? You know, the one thing I haven't done today because I was so busy because Ariel responded to my message and just brought an avalanche of people over. I didn't get a chance to look at the news today, so I really have no idea what the hell's going on in the world. Did World War III start? What's going on, everybody? Almost. Swirly's here. What's up, Swirly? I'm not going to be going live tomorrow, guys. I'm going to be interviewed by Richard Willett. Doesn't seem that Ukraine has fired into Russia just yet, though, so I guess that's a good thing. Okay. For now, yeah. You believe Biden did that? I mean, it's not even Biden. It's the people that handle Biden, but they'd rather start World War III and sabotage his... Okay, hold on. I don't know about World War III. Do you think the individual Christians call Jesus Christ is Yeshua? Let's talk about this. What was Jesus' birth name? Emmanuel. What else? His birth name was Emmanuel. Well, what is Yeshua? Well, guess what? YE in Hebrew doesn't exist. It has a... Well, I'll give you an example. Jonathan is Jonathan. Yaakov is Jacob. And on and on and on with the names. Yeshua, if you actually translate it correctly, you translate Yeshua correctly, it's actually Joshua. So he was born as Emmanuel. His name translates to Joshua, and Christ isn't a last name. It wasn't Mary Christ and Joseph Christ or God Christ. It wasn't any of that shit. Christ is a title. And in Greek, it's Christos. Christos means anointed one. It's a title. So Joshua the Anointed One, if we're being honest. The letter J didn't come into the alphabet until 1524 AD. It was the last letter added to the alphabet. So no, his name was never Jesus. He was born Emmanuel. That's what they said. And we shall call him Emmanuel. Yeshua is Joshua. People don't know this stuff, but it's important to know because his name would technically be Yeshua ben Yosef, because Yosef would be Joseph. Get it? When you say, that's how they used to name people, and that's how they do it in Hebrew. Yeshua ben Yosef, or Yeshua ben Pandera. Yeshua ben is son of Yosef. So they would always tell you, I am, and they tell you this in like you watch like Game of Thrones. I am blah, 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 son of blah, 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 blah. All right? What other questions do you guys have? You're welcome, Corinne. Great day to all. A1. I hope you're having an A1 day, my friend. Glad I found your channel again. Leela, you're new. Are you? Oh, you're from YouTube because I could see the little thing. Where are you? How did you find my channel? If you don't mind me asking. And have you seen any of my work and what do you think of it? Although, glad I found your channel again. Thank you, Leela. I watched you on Leak. With Rex. Okay. Many such cases. People come over from Rex. Yes, Rex is an amazing dude. Love him to death. We talk all the time. But thank you. Then you obviously do know my work. So let's see. What else is going on in the world, guys? What other questions do you have? Love your work. Thank you, Leela. Leela, have you read any of my books yet? Just out of curiosity. No? Well, I'll tell you what. If you go to my website, which I'm putting in the chat, and you want to follow up and you want to learn more about astrotheology and everything, it's in my book series, Into the Rabbit Hole series. My book series is on this webpage. So if you go to the webpage and you scroll down just a teeny bit, you'll see a link for all of them. Pick up the first book because I'm going to talk about my first book eventually. So I'm trying to get everybody on the channel to pick up a copy of the first book so that we could start talking about it, because this is where the juicy information is. This is where the stuff you're not allowed to know is. This is where it's at. A1 says, I'm having a great day. Got very great news today that lifts a weight off my shoulders. Fantastic. I'm having a good day too. So good job, A1. Thank you. Yes, agreed. From what I know, Christ is a title. I am coming across a lot of information that Jesus the Christ did not even exist, but rather a story put together from other ancient writings. He's the solar deity, just like they all are, only he is anthropomorphized, so people think he's real. Sue is here. Hi, all. Hi, Sue. What's going on? So how are you guys going? So let's get going with some questions. Let's see what's up, guys. What's going on? I don't know how long I'm going to be here tonight, to be honest with you, because I got 2 big interviews tomorrow, and I need my sleep. I've seen your comment on X, Blockstar. I've seen your comment on X and click link on my astrology journey, Scorpio Sun, Gemini Moon. My astrologer would have a field day with you. Did you watch the video? What did you think? Oh, that makes sense. Thank you, Micah. You're welcome. Yeah. He's no different than any of the other solar deities. They just made him a person in the latest iteration that they're telling the same story of. So people believe he's real. He's not real. I'm sorry. The cosmic Christ is real. The Jesus of the Bible doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It doesn't. So, and I've got long videos about this where I explain it to people. I watched a few videos. You got my attention. So, Block, what's on your mind? What kind of questions do you have for me? Do you have any questions from the videos? What's the deal? Let me know what's up. You guys are great, by the way. This is also fascinating for sure. It really is. It's the most interesting story ever told, and it's been told since the beginning of time, of at least written history. Yeah. No, again, I'm just open for information is all. All right. Well, if you go to my website, debunkmywork.com, that I put up in the comments, You can go through all my astrotheology videos and see where it's buried. Just look at the different tablets or works that I have done, and you'll see. Gene Ominous. Howdy, Micah. Jean, you're new. Where are you coming from? How did you find the channel? And it's good to have you here. Hey, Micah. This is Go Diego Go F. Hey, Micah. Just found your channel and watched the video you did with Jeffrey Daughtry. Great stuff, man. Also, could you explain Leviticus 18:22? I see it gets thrown out a lot. Yeah, just give me 1 second because I'm going to pull up the yes, here it is. Okay. So this is going to piss a lot of people off, this thing that I'm about to do right now, but I don't think it's going to piss you guys off. I don't think it's going to piss you guys off personally, because you guys are obviously here to learn. So let's go ahead and do this. So you're asking about Leviticus 18:22. That's the homosexual verse. The homosexual verse. Incidentally, Go Diego, know this, okay? The King James Bible that everybody obsesses over, that is the correct translation and the Word of God. King James was a homosexual demonologist. He was. And if you go to Amazon and type in King James Demonology, you can buy his book that he wrote before he helped produce the original Bible. So now let's talk about homosexuality, because this is the problem with the religious people. This is why people split into the left, because they don't feel at home at the right. You're not really going to be able to see this. You could probably zoom in, but I'm going to read it to you right now, okay? So here we go. Homosexuality in the Bible. Everybody knows about Leviticus 18:22. However, is it really what is sent there? The Greek word arsenokotai shows up in two different versions of the Bible in Greek, but was not translated to mean homosexual until 1946. In the 1800s, the German Bible said, "Man shall not lie with young boys as he does with the woman, for it is an abomination." Leviticus 18:22. Same with Leviticus 20:13, young boys. 1 Corinthians, the word arsenokotai. It's important to remember this too, is that the New Testament was written in Greek. So 1 Corinthians gets thrown out the window. But 1 Corinthians becomes, boy molesters will not inherit the kingdom of God. Now, let me just ask you guys a question real quick. Who would it benefit to change from child molester or boy molester to homosexual? The child molesters, right? The pedophiles. That's who it would benefit. If you were to grab Martin Luther's original German translation from 1534, the guy that started the Lutheran Church, they use the word Knabenschänder. Knaben is boy, and Schänder is molester. The first time homosexual appears in German translation is in 1983. Now, they're not going to tell you any of this stuff, right? They're not going to tell you any of this kind of stuff, but it's a fact nonetheless. It's true nonetheless. Originally, it was boy molesters. Men should not lie with young boys. But guess what? We've always had a pedophile problem. We've always had a molestation problem with children. Always. And it was changed in part to protect them. So I hope that explains, Go Diego. I hope that helps you out with what you were asking. A long time ago, fan of your work. Thank you. Corinne says that's exactly what I learned. King James. Yeah, he was a homosexual. You want me to show you the book? I'll show you the book. Bro, this is all you need to know. This is all you need to know, what I'm about to show you. Do you guys see this? All I did was go to Google, the shitty website Google, that always hides information. And what I did was I typed in King James demonology, and boom, his book popped up on Amazon. It's right there. King James was a homosexual demonologist. So there you go. Was Martin Luther a good guy? For what they knew at the time in the Middle Ages, what he did was revolutionary. But at the same time, now it's just another denomination. Corinne says, wow, yeah. You can pick up King James's demonology book if you're interested. He's right there. All I did was went to Google. I didn't even use Brave browser. I didn't go to the dark web. It's right there. You can buy it on Amazon. Martin Luther, I don't know the history of these people. Like Martin Luther, Joseph Smith. I'm not a biographer. I don't know. Yes, he broke away from the Catholic Church. The Protestants did too, because they didn't want to have to submit to the Pope. That doesn't make one right over another. These are still astrotheology books. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but so we touched on homosexuality in the Bible and how it was originally boy molesters or child molesters. And you know what? If that information came out, it would vindicate all the gay people. Because think about how many gay people, even gay people who are trying to be religious, are like, I'm in sin. I'm in sin. I'm in sin. To me, the reason there's a lot of molesters in the priesthood is because as children in strict Catholic households, they're raised to be taught that homosexuality is evil and they can't control their urges. So they join the church so that maybe God will be okay with them. But then these kind of urges and things manifest in poor ways if not handled the correct way. 7:07 a.m. here as I send this. Arthur, I like when you're in, man. Arthur's from Singapore, by the way, guys. And it's promising to be a rewarding day, assuming you align with most of Jordan Maxwell's profound researches. Please share what you do not agree with. Jordan is one of my two mentors. I knew him, and he loved my work. I'm continuing his work in somewhat a more palatable way for this generation through a book series, Into the Rabbit Hole series, through my astrotheology videos, social media, almost all my work aligns with Jordan. I can't think of one thing I don't agree with him on. The only thing that I'm confused about with him is that I'm the one finding these in all these ancient holy texts, but he's stuck with the Bible. But I don't know why he never looked into any of these other ancient holy texts for the astrotheology, like I did, like the Sumerian works or the Babylonian. I know he touched on the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and I have a lot of his DVDs, his videos. Love Jordan. Thanks, man. Makes a lot of sense. I just never understood the demonization of LGBT people due to religion or disowned by the church and family. That's why, because they don't know that it had been changed. But now you know this, and you can share it with people, or at least point them in my direction, for sure. Linda's here. What's up, girl? What's on your mind? So now that we got more people in here, just want to remind you guys again. I'm just going to do it quickly. Let me just show it to you. This is my first book, Into the Rabbit Hole, Micah Dank, Beneath the Veil. Pick it up on Amazon. It's like $16. And it is jam-packed with information. Cutting-edge technology. Forbidden knowledge. It's in a storybook form. It's like 1984 had a baby with Da Vinci Code, with young, wise-ass kids. These are fun reads, and you'll see my personality come out in them. So if you could please get it, I would appreciate it. So Shannon is here. What's up, Shannon? Appreciate your response. I'll always join when I can. Thank you. Linda says hi, Shannon. Free Spirit is here again. Hey, Free Spirit. Smash the like, share the vids, buy the books, do everything. And again, I'm putting it in the comments again. This is where you could find all my work. What am I talking about? All my social medias, my YouTube channel, a way to email me at the bottom of the page, all my books, all my astrotheology work, my Rumble channel, everything is on this webpage. That long video that most of you guys have seen today, that's the first video on my webpage. So share the webpage, pick up the first book, and we can continue to talk about this kind of stuff. So what else is on everybody's mind? What was the book series you wrote? Something with the word garden in it, if I recall correctly. No, it's this. Into the Rabbit Hole. That's the book series by Micah Dank. And this is my first book, Beneath the Veil. My first book. Going to get a sweatshirt. DM me, because we're dealing with PayPal's being a pain in the ass right now. DM me your size, and I'll reach out to my partner, Jen, who's handling my merch. But hell yeah, get a sweatshirt, girl. That's so nice. And take a picture and send it to me so I can post it on social media. Oh, all right. So, what is on everybody's mind? So, since Ariel shared my video, or I shared my video and he shared it, today, hold on. Today, I have had, or in the last 2 days, more like today, I've had almost 1,500 people watch my video. And I'm hoping people will continue to share it and share it and share it and get this information out there because it's important. Do you sell them anywhere else than Amazon? Would love all of them on audiobook. I work all day and listen to podcasts. All right, Leela, cool. My first 2 books are on audiobook. My publisher and myself have been dealing with Audible, which is a nightmare. But my first 2 books are there. So you could pick up the first 2 books on Audible for sure. One sec. I'll put the link in the chat for everybody who wants to pick up the first book. And just read the reviews, guys, too. If you don't know, if you're not sure what you're getting into, this is the link for my first book. You can get the Audible from there too, Leela. That's the link. Do you think more people will come to the realization that organized religions is lies and enslavement? We're seeing it happen, and it's going to happen in the age of Aquarius. That's why the timeline's speeding up. That's why the red heifers need to be sacrificed. That's why Israel's going to war with the Muslims. That's why this is why it's all happening so fast. The Third Temple. They're rushing it because people are waking up. That's their playbook. And instead of people going, these elites are tailoring events to make them seem like prophecy, they're blindly going, prophecy's coming true, which is idiotic. I want first book of your series. Where again? It's right above your comment. If you want a signed copy, you can DM me on social media or email me at Into the Rabbit Hole series, which I'll put here. That's my email. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it through me. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm fine with either way. As long as people are reading it, that's what I want. My eyes are shot from working on a computer for years, blind as a bat with 20/20 vision. I'm sorry to hear that, Leila. Really sorry to hear that. So do you not believe in any prophecy? That's a good question. No, I believe we make our own realities. We co-create make our own realities. We manifest our realities. The material that we think is matter is actually mostly empty space. In fact, it's 99.99999% empty space. You have the proton, you have the nucleus, and then the electron's fucking all the way over here doing one of these. But this is all empty space. It's an illusion. Our senses create reality. If you're colorblind, your reality is different than mine. That doesn't make yours wrong or a different version of reality. We co-create our own realities. We manifest what we want. And I don't believe in prophecy, no. What is your perspective on the difference between realities, dimensions, and timelines? Well, I just touched on realities. Dimensions, it's not like this. The dimensions, the way they show it in Paradise Lost by Milton, is the dimensions are like this, right? And you keep raising to a higher dimension. That's not how dimensions work at all. Not the way we understand it now. Past, present, future, everything is occurring right here, right now. Just the past and the future are vibrating at different frequencies. So we have the illusion of space-time, which is why, we need the illusion of space-time to exist. Because, you need to be able to grow from being a baby, and you need to be able to, time ages you and things of that nature. But when you get outside of the third dimension, the fourth density, which is time, and you get to the fifth dimension, time becomes fluid. So you can go back and forth. In fact, the funny thing is, Jeff, is that reincarnation is real. But here's the ironic thing. If you were to understand the fact that time is fluid in higher dimensions, then your next life, you could be a peasant from the 1300s. It doesn't have to be 500 years in the future. That's not how it works. Time is malleable. So that's realities and dimensions. And as far as timelines go, the only thing that I think shifts timelines is that I know of is CERN. When they collide the particles at almost the speed of light, it shifts the timeline a little bit. That's why we have things called the Mandela effect. That's a shift of a timeline. Are there guardian angels that we can access? Through meditation, you can access your higher self, and you can access God. Remember the 144,000, your chakras? When you wake them all up, you get to go see God. Angels and demons do exist, but it's not like it's in the Bible. These entities do exist. They're very real. Well, the problem with prophecy is that if enough people believe it, they may end up manifesting it. No, that's not it. If a lot of people end up believing it, then it's good business to follow that prophecy. Awesome. Caught a live on my way out of work. Yeah, that's why I did this. I waited till everyone got out of work on the East Coast before I went live today, Bobby. I'm thinking about writings that come to pass, like Nostradamus and the Ingersoll Lockwood book. Okay, so two things. Number one, Nostradamus, his quatrains are very interesting. Now, as far as the astrology in the quatrains, I haven't made sense of it. It doesn't follow something that I could find, and they're interesting for sure, and they're very mystic, but I don't see it as, some people will say it's prophecy. Like one of Nostradamus' most famous prophecies is when he was talking about the king that got the arrow through his eye. when he was jousting, or he was jousting and a piece broke off and it went through his eye and killed him. That's one of them, and people point to that to show that, oh yeah, Nostradamus knew what he was talking about. Well, sure, maybe that might be the case, but I'd have to revisit that, to be honest with you. But that doesn't. I mean, Rasputin was on the same level as Nostradamus. He just didn't write books. And Ingersoll Lockwood, when you say the Ingersoll Lockwood book, you're talking about the one where they named Barron Trump, right? Where they were talking about Trump. And it was written like 120, 30 years ago or whatever it was, right? That's interesting. It really is. But Barron was a common name at the time. And Trump already had a famous grandfather or a famous uncle. So it is possible, just because things synchronistically line up doesn't mean that they're prophecy. Yes. Okay. So Corinne. Yes, yes, yes. I was 17 when I read his material. You got to revisit it. The link is in the chat, guys, for this book. I'm asking you to pick up my first book. I'm not telling you to buy the series through me. I'm not telling you to buy the signed series through me. I'm not telling you to drop, 200 and some bucks on the whole series. I'm literally telling you spend $16. Instead of getting 3 beers at a bar, pick this book up that'll blow your mind. And then follow my characters and learn the history you have not been told. There's a lot of stuff in these books that I can't even begin to talk about on these channels because I'll lose my account. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm surprised that my publisher even allows this. But they do back my freedom of speech, so fantastic. So I just wanted to show that book again. I just learned that Nostradamus was a French Jew. That makes sense. Yeah. My girl is here. Hi, Lucy. What do Freemasons think of witchcraft, whether it's Wiccan, chaos magic, or whatever? So here's how Freemasons work. You can believe or practice whatever you want as long as you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, they won't even talk to you there. You need to believe in a supreme being. Now, Masons will also talk to you about, it's a non-judgment zone. So the Abrahamics, there's different Abrahamics there, and it's just a blending of the cultures. It's not like church where everyone's a Catholic or a Christian. There are Jews, there's Christians, there's Muslims, there's Lutherans, there's Indians, there's Buddhists, there's everything. And they allow anybody in. So they have competing beliefs, and a lot of people get into all this kind of deep stuff. Absolutely. I actually got a book from a Mason. I just can't. Let me see if I could see it. Lucy, our library is fantastic, but we have to freaking organize it. No, I don't see the book. But they do giveaways. They do charity giveaways where they hand out occult and esoteric books. So it's not against it, but the caveat is you have to believe in God. Like, they don't let Satanists in, for example. So thank you for the question, sweetie. It's like potato chips. Once you start, you can't stop. Free Spirit is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and I just love her to pieces. Thank you, Free Spirit. Once you start, you can't stop. You're talking about the book series, right? It's wild. This takes you on an adventure. I had to write it in storybook form because if I wrote a nonfiction book, I'd get sued. Truly. Or murdered. I don't know. Micah, can you talk about the Adam and Eve story in Genesis? It never made sense to me why we had to pay for their sins. Well, let's talk about the Jews, where they supposedly came from, or the people that came before them, the Egyptians, from the age of Taurus, whereas the Jews are the people of Aries, the ram. That's why the Jews blow the ram's horn at the holidays. Um, why do we have to pay for their sins? One of the greatest. It's funny because I'm on Twitter a lot, right, guys? I'm on X a lot, and I see people shitting on Jews all the time because I know what happened with X. Let me just start with this. What happened with Twitter or with X is that it was so far left, and banning anything besides that, that when Elon shifted it back to the center, it made the left feel like it was all the way to the right because now they were seeing things that they've never seen before. And there's a lot of people out there that talk shit about Jews, and I don't have any issue with that. I was raised Jewish, okay? But I always tell people the same thing. You're hating the Jews for the wrong reason. And Go Diego Go has the reason right here, and I'll explain it to you real quick. The Egyptians revered women, revered them. In statues, you'll always see the men, right? The men holding the women like this, right? They were protectors. Women were revered. Do you know why? Because of their womb, they brought new life here. They were a portal from upper dimensions into this dimension. Women were revered. They were loved. And guess what? When the Jews wrote the Old Testament, they took that away. The other thing that the Jews did that I was not a big fan of is the Egyptians revered cats too, because cats can see dimensions that we can't. And you know that's true. They hear noises that you can't hear. Dogs do too. Not seeing dimensions though, but cats can see that. That's why they were so revered in Egypt, and that's why they were buried with their masters. They were guides for the underworld. Now, in the Bible, there is not one, and you can read the whole Bible, there is not one mention of cat. So the Jews inverted the divine feminine and took us away into this women that pay for sins, women who ate the apple and created sin and caused the fall of man. So that's what the Jews did, is they took away, and our balance between the feminine and the masculine, the equal, because we balance each other, was removed. And the patriarchal system came in. We complement each other, people, men and women. We have different skills. For example, women can handle a cold much better than a man can. And I will stand by that. But that's basically that's what it is they inverted it and they ruined everything. So Go Diego Go, I hope that answers your book. That is, thank you. Hi, is it possible that you will read Jordan Maxwell's book Astrotheology, the Root of All Religion? That Old Time Religion by Jordan Maxwell? Matrix of Power? I have his books, I have his videos. I've read them. But I've also known the man and talked to him and shared my work and had conversations with him. He wrote books, but it didn't have a mass appeal flair to it. But it's great information. Don't you have to be sponsored to become a Freemason? You don't have to be sponsored. You can be. You can just apply. You just knock on their door and they'll give you an application. And one of the questions is, do you believe in God? And if you say no, they'll shut the door on you. Do you have to be sponsored? No. But they will interview you. Also, the end times prophecy, if you don't mind. Go Diego Go. If you go to my YouTube, if you go to my website, debunkmywork.com, and you click on my YouTube link, it'll bring you to my YouTube. You'll watch the video I did right before this one, earlier today. And I went over the book of Revelation, the whole thing. So if you watch that, that'll probably break it down for you better. Your books are like potato chips. Once you start, you can't stop. Thank you, Free Spirit. Hi, is it possible that you will read Protocollen van des I don't know what book are you talking about. I'm not familiar. Oh, you're talking about Protocols of the Elders of Zion. That's what you're trying to say. No, that's garbage. Maybe one day we'll go over it. It talks about how the Jews are going to take over the world. That's what that book is. Sorry, I don't speak I think that's Dutch, but I do recognize some of the words. So Protocols of the Elders of Zion. At some point. At some point. Micah, I just picked up your book, by the way. It just arrived now. That's what I'm talking about, Bobby. Bobby, reach out to me on social media as you're reading it if you have any questions, but come back and let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of my style, about how I bring gnosis and information to the world, because it's unique. Zionist versus Orthodox, got to know the difference. There is a difference. They're not mutually exclusive, though. Correct. Hi, everyone. I'm glad I made this live show. Yes, you are correct about women. I hope people wake up to this truth. Most people, most men are stuck in their lower chakras. Most men are slaves to porn and their dick. They can't do anything unless they figure out how to get laid first. They're animals at their lowest primal nature, and society makes you that way. They're flashing and showing sex and objectifying everybody 24/7. Once you stop masturbating and you have control of your urges, the urges don't go away. You control them. Once you control them, propaganda doesn't work on you anymore and they get pissed off. Trust me. Those are great books. Thank you, Renee. Renee, thank you. Sorry, I tried to delete a comment and put it all together, and now it just seems I'm an old lady repeating myself. It's okay, Free Spirit. Shannon says hi to Renee. I am now inspired to eat potato chips. Okay, then. Thanks, Micah. You rock, dude. Go Diego. If you're on social media, shoot me a message. I try, and everybody that comes and listens to me live, I like to talk to them on social media too. So if that's something you want to do, reach out to me. But just let me know what your code name is in the chat room, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to. I do believe that. That's why I'm single. Good. You don't have to sell yourself short if you have self-respect, and that's a wonderful thing, Renee. Nice strong arms. Thank you, Lucy. My girl makes me laugh. Aw. Hi, Shannon. Renee says hi to Shannon. So, now that we got a bunch of new people in, this is book one, Into the Rabbit Hole, Micah T. Dank, Beneath the Veil. Pick it up because we're going to start talking about it. I'm going to read you the back of it. Ready? Graham, a functioning alcoholic and Harvard medical student, and the protagonist of Into the Rabbit Hole, stumbles across a puzzling communication from his deceased Navy SEAL brother. Graham must work to unravel a litany of secrets, sobering in their implications not only for himself, but for the past 12,000 years of human history and the secrets of the universe. Had he not, in his hungover state, opened the email, Graham could have continued on his predetermined, successful, if dysfunctional path, and never embarked on the paradigm-shifting journey that so loosens his grasp on reality and obliterates not only what he chooses to believe, but what he trusts as fact. With the help of his long-term girlfriend, his quirky Mensa best friend, his wild and athletic best girlfriend since childhood, and his friend from undergrad at Georgetown, who followed him to Harvard for grad school, he sets out to decode this complex cryptogram, which he soon discovers is charged with the potential to unhinge the very control that certain government officials are intent at all costs on maintaining. Sounds interesting? It is. And I reread my work, and my books are the kind of books that I like to read. I write what I like. Hello, Linda. Nice to see you interacting, Lucy. Usually you're just chilling or leaving a random comment. I like it. Love the tapestry. Thank you. That was my girl. She got it for me 6 months or a year ago, probably. Sounds juicy. Thanks, Renee. All right, guys. So check it out. I'm going to take off because I need to relax, and I've got 2 interviews tomorrow, one at 12 and one at 5. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow, to be honest with you, because that's like the 2 times that I would normally come here. But thank you for being here, guys. Pick up the first book, and we'll have discussions about it soon.